Alright, what you see here is a Hometrends Rainbow Hugger ceiling fan. I got this fan from fan collector Todd the Fan Man. That's his YouTube name. And this fan was brand new in the box when I got it. I still have the box to say it's been in its box since I last tested it. And although it's already been 3 years now that I tested it, or since I got it. It doesn't feel that long ago. It definitely has been quite a bit of time, so I figure it's definitely a fan worth bringing back for a remake. And I know a lot of people have been wanting to see a remake of this fan, especially even though there's other fans that are more deserving of a remake. This one didn't get a lot of views. I figure it was definitely worth giving this one a remake. But also, these are extreme childhood fans for me due to the fact that I had one just like this as a kid back in the year 2003. My mom and I bought one of these at Walmart. She gave me the choice of buying this or the 42-inch mainstay version. And I liked this one more because this was the one that was on display. That was on the Walmart display back when Walmart used to have the ceiling fans on a display and actually have them running. So, yeah. Now, the one we brought down to the Dominican Republic and installed it in my bedroom. And then in the year 2005, we replaced it with a Kitty K Industrial, which is the one that's still in my room down there to this day at my grandparents' house. And then we moved that fan to the guest room, which is now my grandmother's room. But then in the year 2008, 2009, we took it down and replaced it with the 2004 Kitty K that was in the dining room. That was swapped out with a brown and brass Kitty K that we got in Christmas of 2008. My mom told me that she was letting the person that took down the fan borrow it, but in reality, it was really. I'm pretty sure she gave it to the person, but I was told that it was being borrowed by them. I think that was just her way of telling me that. That was just her way to get me to not like freak out about it being given away because she knew I liked the fan a lot. But at the end of the day, it was a family that really needed a fan because they didn't have any. It was a very poor family, so. And also that one made a lot of noise, so if I had it, it was a very loud fan, the one that I had as a kid. Now this one doesn't make so much noise, so that's a good thing about this one. And this one is actually a bit older than mine. There was actually a slight difference between this version and the one that I have. And the only difference is the pull chains on it. As you can see on this one, has those plastic brown purplish looking. Well, they're not purple, but they're like the brownish pull chains. Whereas the one I had the orange teardrop pull chains, like the ones you see on like a Hampton Bay landmark. But this one's from actually January of 1999, so there was definitely a difference in the age on this one and the one I had as a kid. And the globe you see on this was not the one I used in the original video. This globe actually is the original globe from the one I had as a kid. We never sent it down there with the original globe. We actually only had it with a round globe down there because we didn't want to send this globe down to the Dominican Republic with a suitcase, so we just kept it up here. But yeah, this is the original globe that came with mine when I was a kid, so I still at least have a part of that fan to this day at least. Yeah, I was sitting in my closet at the old apartment for many years, and I had a lot of dust and grime all over it, but I cleaned it up nicely to put it on this fan to retest it. But yeah. But basically, you can actually still buy this fan to this day, except it's in the all white finish, as this is basically a relabeled Latex Vortex sold under the Hometrends label for Walmart. And you could always literally buy this fan in white and just spray paint it like this. I haven't tested the new versions. They look identical just except in white. But I don't know if they perform as well as these older ones like this one. But they sell for like maybe $50 new, so they're not too expensive at least. But yeah, let me go ahead and show off the light. As you can see, it does work. But yeah, I remember seeing some homes as a kid having these like at nighttime. I'd see them like with the light on through various windows and such. Now to shut off the light and see how well it lights up the space. Definitely isn't the brightest light. I mean, it's a single light. But I mean, for a smaller space, it wouldn't be bad. Let me turn on the lights around me. All right, now to start the fan off on low. Now, my mom had originally planned to do with the what we had as a kid is we were she had thought about putting that in the kitchen of my grandparents' house, which honestly I think that would have looked pretty cool in the kitchen, to be honest. Would have been an attention grabber for whoever walked into the kitchen. And I honestly think if we had done it, it would definitely still be there to this day without a question. But I guess she just wanted to really help out. Some of it, what really happened also is the person that she gave it to, we haven't had contact with him in over 10 years. The guy that she gave it to, just ditched town and we haven't never heard from him again, basically. So it could be some truth of what she told me about her only letting them borrow it and something, because that is something that people do down in the Dominican Republic. They're like wanting stuff to people, but then sometimes that's what happens. They never give stuff back. It has a little bit of a hum on the low speed, but it's nothing major. It's definitely nothing compared to the NCompt, which hums like crazy on a low speed. And the way that the blades are lined up on this fan right here is the exact way that the one in my bedroom and then later the guest bedroom in the Dominican Republic was set up. If you look at the old picture I have of it in the old fan slideshow, I think it's the first one I did. The first or the second one it's in. There's like one or two pictures of it, and it shows the exact like lineup of the blades, and like it was here when I showed it to you when it was off. And, yeah, I usually try. I'm gonna show the light, but I usually try to. When it comes to a rainbow fan, I usually try to align the blades exactly, the color blades exactly the way it is on the box. But with this one, I'm just trying to replicate the way that one from my childhood was set up, just to pay tribute to it. Yeah, this fan it actually went for $24.96 at the Walmart back in the day. Whereas the 42-inch one apparently was only like $15 back then. So I find it interesting that a little one like this went more than the 42-inch one. Though I'm not really surprised also because these are definitely a lot better made than the average Walmart fan. I mean, it's not really. This was actually its own thing, and it was just relabeled for Walmart. So in a way, this isn't really a Walmart fan. It was just very often we found at Walmart. Because Litex did sell it under their name as well, as the Litex Vortex. But this specific one right here is just sold under Walmart's name. Well, the 3 Walmart names is what that they have, with this one, it's under the Hometrends one. But I always thought it looked really cool with the light on it. Definitely makes see the blades. The rainbow look of the blades always looked really cool to me as a kid. But I know Walmart had another version of this as a sixth blader where it didn't have point tipped blades and it had like this regular horseshoe brackets. That one was the mainstays version. I never saw that one at my Walmart as a kid, but I always thought that I had seen versions like that on YouTube, and I always thought that was like the Kmart version. I know Kmart had one like it as well, and I always the Encom Petite that's in the corner of the basement. That's actually kind of a childhood, just as much of a childhood fan as this in some ways. Due to the fact that after I bought this for the Dominican Republic, I had seen the two white ones at the mini market, and I always thought that those were just a Kmart version of this, but just in white. Although I really found that they were actually completely different fans. They were Encons, not the Kmart version. Which I think it was like Home Elegance. I forget what, or like Cool Breeze. I never really went to Kmart after like 2003 because the two near me closed down. But yeah. Now for medium. It definitely does move a good air on the medium speed as well. And this one I do consider it a Walmart fan, but at the same time I don't, only due to the fact that it's not a fan that was only sold at Walmart, since Litex sold it in other places as well. But this specific one was just a relabel for Walmart. So in a way, it's not completely a Walmart fan, but at the same time, this specific one actually was sold at Walmart. So, but I guess you could say that it's not a fan that was made for Walmart specifically because it was sold at other places as well. So, at least in that regard, the quality of this is not going to be so bad like a natural Walmart fan would be, like the Aloha Breeze or like the Mainstay Huggers or any other actual Walmart Pacific ceiling fan. Would have been cool though actually to see them make the downward version of the Latex Vortex that was sold back then in the rainbow finish as well. But I guess I'm kind of curious to see if it would be the same color combination as this, or if there would be a bit difference to it, like on the motor housing that is. But yeah, it's definitely pushing off a lot more air than the Encon does on medium speed. Or the Western House Petite, whatever you, since that's basically the same fans. This is a Norda one, so it's an Encon. The one that's over in the other corner. I might just do a video of both of them running together to see which one's stronger, since they're both the same size. But yeah, it's definitely pushing a good breeze. That's on medium. And I don't remember it moving this much air when I floor tested it, but at the same time, that's when I floor tested it, so it wasn't really an accurate test of this fan. But even as a kid, I don't remember it being this powerful as well. But also, that's in the Dominican Republic, so it was really hot each time I was down there and tested the other ones. So, and also I was more used to the airflow of the KDK, so there's that. Yeah, I did remember it moving somewhere, but I don't remember it moving this much. Another thing I mostly remember about is that I was a Rainbow fan, and it was a very loud one. This had like quite a bit of a bearing noise to it, I think. This one has a little bit of a bearing noise to it, somewhat. I Can't tell what it is, but it makes some sort of noise aside from the hum. All right, now for high speed. Definitely goes a lot faster than the President House Petite does. Well, the Ancon Petite that's over in the corner. The one that's in the Dominican Republic, and the other two I have here, the Antique Brass and Brushnickel one. Those aren't so slow like the Ancon is, because that one the bearings are stiff on it. But also, it's kind of easier to see how fast the fan's going when it has like a lot of different colored blades. Whereas when all the blades are the same color, it's kind of hard to keep track how fast it's going, in a sense. But this one's definitely moving a lot more air than the Encon is over there. I mean, it is in a lot better shape since it's never been used. The Encon's bearings are somewhat stiff, even though I've oiled it several times. But also, the build on this is actually a bit more solid on it too. So there is that to take into consideration. All right, bring it up close to you, the air movement. Definitely moves a lot of air though, especially underneath it. Definitely packs quite a bit of a punch. In fact, maybe I might have to buy a white one and put that over, buy a white one and put over in the spot where the Encon is, since that one's loud and doesn't move as much as this one does. I'd rather find one used, obviously, but since they still make them to this day, I might as well I could always get a new one as well. Out of all the smaller fans I've tested here, well, basically this, the Monte Carlo Micro, the Minuet 2s and such. I mean, the Encon, this one I feel like is moving. This and the Minuet 2, I feel like are the two I've moved the most out of all the 6-weighted fans I've tested on here that are small. Like, I can feel the air movement from the ground, and the basement definitely is starting to feel a bit cool with this fan on the high speed. And while the smaller fans haven't been able to do that, for testing purposes. Shut off a new spin down and put it on reverse. Spin down's not going to be too long on this fan due to the fact that it's only been used for testing purposes. All right. Now for reverse. Definitely feel like probably consider installing somewhere in the future, like maybe a hallway or a playroom. Although I'd probably have the handle be carousel up in its place if I had a choice to put up a rainbow fan, but who knows? I mean, they're not really hard to find, but since this one's new in the box, I probably wouldn't want to use it too much. But I feel like I can definitely find something I'll do with it, or just keep it in the box. But it's definitely one that I'm definitely not gonna part ways with at all. So definitely don't even bother asking in the comment section. Something that's interesting is this specific one sort of makes the same startup sound on the high speed that the KDK industrial that my aunt has in the Dominican Republic. And this is something that the one that I have the one I used to have in the Dominican Republic never did. So I just find that a bit interesting. You can hear it more in reverse since the air movement's not blocking the sound of the startup sound. Alright, and that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.